Hey there, fellow marketers, Professor Wolters here, and today I am in El Salvador on the beach with my family. And this actually kind of goes into today's topic, and the topic is supply chain conflict. Because when you're working with a big group, okay, when you have your logistics people, you got your pricing people, you got your finance, you got your delivery people, you got your suppliers, you have all these things, you most likely will have some conflict that does arise, okay? Think about it, when you're trying to choose a vacation, doesn't conflict usually arise because one person wants to hit the beach, one person wants to go to the pool, one person wants to go fishing, one person just wants to sit and drink at the bar. You have all these kind of different kind of conflicts that can arise. And the same thing happens in business, okay? Because in order for our supply chain to work more effectively and efficiently, we need to make sure we know where potential supply chain conflict may arise so we can deal with it before it happens or deal with it while it's happening, okay? Now, I do have another video we filmed, I think in Rwanda, that's actually about kind of fixing all this supply chain conflict afterwards. This one we're just focused on where these supply chain conflicts really do arise. And a lot of it really comes down to a few things. One, people have different goals, people have different roles, and people have different rewards in the supply chain. So if you think about it in terms of goals, okay, each of us have a different goal that we're trying to do. So for example, the delivery person's trying to deliver it as fast as possible. And that's why you'll see, sometimes you look online and you'll see the delivery drivers just throw the boxes at somebody's house, not really caring, just throwing over the fence, not ringing the doorbell. Hey, look, I'm just trying to get there as fast as possible. Whereas that company that had it shipped, they want their product in the best shape possible. And if it gets thrown over a fence, that could mess things up, right? And so we don't want to do that. So we have a little conflict there. So if you think about it, you as a student, maybe you have different goals in terms of your group projects. Because think about it, you want to finish with a 4.0 in your exams, right? You want to get a 4.0 in your grade, your GPA overall. And you're in a group project with a senior that already has a job that doesn't care. They're like, D's get degrees, yeah! And don't you can see some conflict there? Yes, because we have different goals. I want an A, you just want to pass. So that can be a thing there we have to worry about. Now, also the roles we have within the company, that's that delivery driver versus the person that wants to quality control that the product's not broken. There could be some conflict there because their whole system is different. Their whole role in the business is different, okay? But also we could look at it in terms of rewards, how you're paid. That can actually get supply chain conflict as well. Because think about it, if you're on a salaried pay, you get paid no matter if you're there for 10 hours or 2 hours, you're going to get as much work done as possible and get out of there. But what if you're working with somebody that's getting paid hourly? No, I want to be there for 10 hours. I want to take all the time I can to fill up my timesheet so then I get a full 10-hour workday, not finishing in 2 hours because now I'm losing 8 hours of pay. And can you see how some conflict happens right there? And you do see it a lot of times. Now, in terms of specifically naming types of supply chain conflict, there's vertical supply chain conflict. So this would be, the pizza delivery place, right? You order pizza, that pizza store, the pizzeria, they want to get you that pizza hot, fresh, ready right away, okay? So their goal is to get you that pizza hot and fresh and ready. But the driver, do they really want to get a ticket? I mean, do I want a $75 ticket for delivering a $10 pizza? Probably not, right? So we might have some conflict there vertically because think about it. That delivery driver is the logistics, the outbound logistics of the company that's making the pizza. You have those things. Now, on the other side of it, you might have what's called horizontal supply chain conflict. This is when you have problems at the same level of the business. So this is, let's say it's a chain like a Papa John's or a Domino's or something like that, and they're all over town, right? So there's multiple Domino's you can call, there's multiple Papa John's you could call, right? So in Domino's, they might have it that, hey, this one Domino's store, they only serve this part of town. Have you ever called a pizzeria and like, oh, we don't deliver there. You got to talk to our Chalmers Street store, okay? Or like, oh, okay. And so you call them and order from them. Well, where supply chain conflicts can come about, this actually happened to me when I first moved to where I'm teaching now. And I actually called up Papa John's. I'm like, I'm at work. I called the number that was from where, I called the number for Papa John's. It's like, hi, yeah, I want to order a pizza for delivery. And I gave my address and stuff like that at home, and they're like, oh, we don't deliver there. You got to talk to this other one. I'm like, oh, okay, that's fine. But the person on the other line says, but wait, if you're working on campus, you can order pickup from us, and then you can pick it up on your way out of town, so it's right there. Now, I'm sure they just were trying to help me out, but can you see how that could be a little bit of a conflict because that other Papa John's would have got my money, but now they're not, and so you have that kind of like tension there, like, wait, you're stealing my business. And so that's why you have companies that try to avoid this horizontal supply chain conflict. They'll have regions, okay? Like, you're the Illinois region, you're the Missouri region, you're the El Salvador region. It's just so you don't have that kind of conflict, because there really is a lot of conflict that can come about in our supply chains. And so I just want to give you an idea of some of the places where those kind of issues do pop up, okay? So whether you're going on a family vacation where someone wants the beach, another person just wants to go someplace where they're not sweating, it does happen. You want to find ways to get around that. So go watch our other video about overcoming supply chain conflict to help out. So I'll say bye from here in beautiful, wonderful El Salvador. Adios.